Malaysia has just celebrated the 50th anniversary of its independence from Britain, and there's much to celebrate. Living standards have improved immeasurably over the past 5 decades, and the economy is doing well. But race is increasingly becoming a problem. A third of the population are ethnic Chinese or Indian, and they're becoming increasingly frustrated at the systematic discrimination they suffer. My guest today is the country's foreign minister. Dato Seri Syed Hamid Albar, welcome to Hard Talk.
Thank you very much.
Is it time to change Malaysia's laws and treat everyone the same?
I think when you're talking about looking at everyone, we're looking at nation building. The most important thing is Malaysians feel they are Malaysians. We recognize our diversity as a source of our strength. There is no need for us to change the law so long as we are able to exercise the unity, we are able to act as Malaysians. And I think this is happening. The process of nation building is not a short process. We came from a very divided society that was recognized by its economic functions, living under very poor living standards. So I think we have tackled the issues in a way that will bring peace and stability. At the same time, people are able to share prosperity of the country, and it's happening.
But there were laws that were originally brought in to help Malays who were basically to tackle poverty. There might have been some justification for them at some time, but since poverty has been tackled, since illiteracy is eradicated, what's the justification for treating generations-old ethnic Chinese and Indians who've been in Malaysia for generations? Why should they be treated differently now?
I think when you're looking at it from a detached point of view, you may be seeing it in that way. But if you look at it in reality, what is happening is that the economic growth of the non-Malays is faster after the new economic policy than before it. The share of the economic cake is bigger, deeper, and wider than before. So it is not as if you're looking at a theoretical, conceptual thing. You're looking at the realities on the ground. On the realities on the ground, if you look at the household income between Malays, Chinese, and Indians, even the Indians have got better household income than the Malays. So I think if you take it out of its ethnic dimension, then you will see that it is the function of any government to have the less fortunate, to make sure that the divide that is based on ethnic division can be overcome. And I think we have done that
let's
quite
take a look at
successfully.
access to university. Is it fair that it's easier for Malays to get to university than it is for ethnic Indians and Chinese?
I think the question, maybe at the beginning, I think it's the same thing in UK or any country that start to build a nation. When you start to build a nation, when you see the disparity, the education opportunity, what we wanted to do was to create the opportunity. How do you avoid seeing people who are living in the rural areas with less facilities?
But my argument is you don't have that problem any longer. It's difficult.
No, we do have. At present, it is based on merit. It is based on merit. I think if you look at the university, our democratization of the education, you have to look in total. The number of students in Malaysia, I think people who see it from outside will try to aggravate the situation and say, oh, there is disparity.
But it doesn't, just seem to be people from outside who are saying this. It's people within. It's ethnic Indians and Chinese
I think you have to look
in
at
Malaysia.
This way. I think you have to look at it this way. I think, without me getting excited about it or emotional about it, looking at it in a fair balance. If you look in terms of total number of students of all the universities in Malaysia, there are still more non-Malays than the Malays. And this should not be an issue that divides us. I think ultimately we have tackled all issues step by step. And it is working. I think for Malaysia it is working. Wherever we see that there is disparity. At one time the scholarships were given to Malays. Certain government scholarships were given to Malays. Now it is open to non-Malays also. So all these things are happening, but we must dismantle.
Government contracts?
For your information, the contracts that are enjoyed by the Chinese in absolute term and the non-Malays is bigger than even the Malays. If I have a piece of land that is 1 acre in a rural area, that one piece of acre of land may be valued at 10,000 ringgit, or it's about $3,000. But if I have got a 10,000 square feet of land in the urban area, that will cost millions. So we do not look at that way. We are building a nation that has been left divided, being recognized through the economic activities. Now there is that building on common factors amongst us.
But do you not accept that you're in danger of that there is rising resentment among ethnic Indians and Chinese because of this situation that's persisting when they don't see it needs to persist any longer?
I think there is a lot more discussion, open discussion. But do not misinterpret that open discussion among the races as something negative. It shows that nation has reached a stage of maturity. We are questioning things that before we have taken for granted. The Chinese are looking at what more can they get. The Indians are looking how they could improve. I'm not saying that there is no problem, but for outsiders to come and tell us, oh, you are going, there is going to be racial tension, there is going to be problem. No, I think you just witnessed the 50th anniversary of independence. I think there is that sense of belonging and ownership. And it's up to the Malaysians then subsequently to dismantle whatever they consider.
But how is it that ethnic Indians and Chinese feel a sense of belonging when then, right from the very top, then they can't get access to the top cabinet posts?
Who told you that?
When was the last time a senior cabinet post was held by an ethnic Indian or Chinese?
What do you mean by senior cabinet post?
Since 1973, the top cabinet posts, Prime Minister, Deputy, Home Affairs, Internal Security, Defence, Foreign and Finance, Education, Trade and International Trade. 1973 is the last time any of those posts was held by.
No, I can argue in the same way with so many countries. I can argue
yes, but we're not talking about other countries. We're talking about Malaysia.
No.
Other countries can deal with their problems on their own. How would you do? I mean, do you recognise that as a problem?
No, let me
you talk about sharing power.
No, let me talk to you in a way that is most that you do not get excited. You do not get upset about something that you do not understand. Let me tell you this. Whenever we want to do something, it is important for us to look at other countries. That's where we learn. That's how we leapfrog. Democracy does not come by itself. It comes because we look at the examples of other places. So let me say that in the case that the most important thing is there will come a time when the Chinese, the Indians, and the other races in Malaysia have accepted that arrangement. How can somebody from outside come to tell us, they have accepted...
You mean this situation is fine because nobody's saying anything in Malaysia about it?
No, not nobody is saying if they are able to, if the opposition, if they are able, or the Chinese party decide to get together and to change that thing, there is nothing under the law to stop it. That's what I'm saying.
Do you not think it's a little odd that all the senior posts and the cabinet posts in the cabinet in the last 30 years have been held by a non-Malay?
I don't think so. This is a democratic system. Each one of them have agreed in a coalition to work together. It is well and good for somebody to say that, oh, this it should not be. I don't think we are going to be told.
So those outside, those